Alright, that's it. I'm just live. I want to view my stream directly on YouTube to see how this camera looks, because I've been getting a lot of vertical live streams straight from the phone. I'm not too happy about that. What if I wanted to live stream horizontally? Maybe it's best to do it through GoPro. Okay, show us some kind of live upside down. Even though I start the camera upside down, it can't change the position. And this I recall, I think I've had this problem in the past, where I just can't choose any options to make it not upside down. It's like live streaming has no options to make it to allow you to have the camera upside down. See, I got it on this metal piece with magnets attached, and it's easy just to have it sit upside down, but it doesn't want to do that. Live, and I really can't seem to adjust any features on the screen. 61% battery life, not dropping, not going up. Connected to a battery, which you can see I got 3 batteries. And maybe, let me go into this. I got 3 batteries. Oh, I got feedback. Can I turn that up? Okay, just turn the volume down. Okay. Camera's upside down. Oh, I better turn it right side up then. So you can see I got 3. I pulled out the vent. I've pulled out so much recently. I pulled out the vent and now I can fit 3 back. Whoops. I had an emergency there for a second. I pulled the vent out to make more space, and I've discovered that I can fit. It's a tight fit. Well, it was a tight fit until I kept putting them in and out. It's not as tight of a fit for the 3 batteries. So now that's a lot more convenient. I pulled out the vent in front here, and it's easier, much easier, to keep the GoPro 8 here for when cops stop by. I gotta wear it when they put me in handcuffs. So it's the whole strap fits in here. I was draping the strap over the steering wheel before, and now I just kind of put everything in here, because I didn't like that strap. And I even have room enough for the spare batteries too, because this thing kind of dies easy. And I've removed all the door panels on all 4 doors, and when I open and close, it feels a lot lighter. I really like it. There's no handle really to pull on, so I have to stick my fingers in holes to close. But that's fine. I'm in it for the knee room. Yeah, this steering wheel is annoying too. I wish I could detach it for when I sleep at night. All right, because it's one thing. I wonder about this emergency brake. I would like to get rid of it. It doesn't work at all, and it's a bit of an annoyance. The shifter is a little bit of an annoyance for when I want to spread my knees out, but this thing's annoying. I'd like to get rid of it, but I got rid of. What's so funny about the door panels? They were a burden. I have so much more movement now. You would just, it's amazing. I removed all the door panels. I put tape on this in the open holes because I got open holes. I put tape for here because I do push against this door the most. I'm not so concerned about this because I usually don't push against it so much. This is the main one I push against. I didn't put any no, not the brakes. I didn't put any tape over the other door panels because I don't think I really push against them. One of my biggest concerns for after removing the door panel is I got rid of the squeegee covering, so it's a little, it's gonna be vulnerable to rain, just like these wires. I put some black tape over the wires to attempt some protection, but when I have to get in and out when it's raining, everything is more vulnerable to getting wet, and that's a little bit of a concern. I'll play with it, experiment, and see what happens. Try to be extra careful. But yeah, a person could drive without doors. You know, doors are not legal requirements, but I mean, I'll keep them because wind block is pretty nice. Oh my God, I still got these stupid ants. Look at that, what's he doing? I got okay, I've had a bad ant infestation, and I discovered the nest. I actually discovered a nest. I discovered a nest in the door panel. Back here, this back rear, there's probably another nest too. But as I was removing the door panel for this door over here, there was like 50 ants, pretty good sized ants too, and they were certainly there he is again. I'm getting that ant. What a jerk. I don't know where that came from, but every so often they'll just sporadically, they'll just show up. I'll put this over here. So I kind of have an infestation, and I need to check my car out more. But how many nests can these ants make? This whole area to my right hasn't been checked in a while. But removing that door panel was a surprise. The ants found a way to make a nest in the insulation and the plastic. All of that. They found a nest. I think I brought the ants in because this is pretty recent, within the past 6 months. When I brought in this 6-foot stick right here, it has holes in it, and I think I brought ant eggs. I think I brought the queen. I probably brought the queen in with this stick, and then they've just been able to like divide and multiply. I haven't seen eggs, but there's some kind of ant infestation, and I got one of the nests, and they're not going to rebuild because that panel is off. All they have is bare metal now, and they can't handle hot metal very well. Ants need a little insulation, so I'm doing a lot of good by removing all this worthless plastic. I mean, I'm exposing wires, but to remove that plastic, it's a plastic. It's all it is plastic. Yet I feel a difference in the weight of the door when I'm opening and closing. So I've removed a considerable amount of weight off of this car, out of this car, and I'm pretty much at the end of my deconstruction of my car, with removing everything, exposing the wires, exposing the metal, getting rid of all that worthless plastic that's really affected my health. It's really been difficult on my health, being so constricted. I'm still a bit constricted, but I feel better. Although last night I had some kind of weird some weird heart issues. It woke me up twice as I was drifting off to sleep. I kind of want to blame the coconut. All right, I had a lot of coconut with some dates, coconut and dates. And I know I've had problems with coconut in the past. There's something in coconut, a phytochemical, that it can be too much. And I still eat it every so often. Every few years I'll buy a package and then slowly eat it. But I had a lot yesterday. Oh, the resale value. Oh, I wasn't thinking of that. It totally blew my mind as I'm removing everything. Really, this should be a standard model car for people to consider. Look at what you're buying. You're buying a lot of bloat. This car looks small on the outside, and yeah, I think coconut causes heart arrhythmias. I did sleep good. It's just I got the arrhythmia twice last night at 11 p.m. as I was trying to sleep, and then it stopped eventually. And it's really tough waking up after an arrhythmia. It's no fun. So they're putting too much in cars. All right, there's too many things that just, they're supposed to be safety features or something that constrict your movement. And I'd rather just give me a bare bones car. It does, you know, a small car that if I could just rip everything, that's all that worthless plastic out, can be quite roomy. I mean, it's taken me a long time to remove everything because I've been hesitant, very hesitant about removing everything. It's just like I was so unsure of myself on what to remove. The roof, taking the roof, the sliding track panel off took forever. It actually took that guy breaking into my car in Albuquerque, New Mexico, throwing my glass 50 feet away. It took him breaking into my car and breaking the sunroof to make me re-look at my sunroof-ish, my whole sunroof operation. It took that. A criminal changed my way of looking at how to handle this low-hanging, you know. It was like I had like 3 inches less space above me, constantly hitting my head on the roof. I'm like, okay, I'm never, you know, since he broke it, he broke the track, everything. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna be able to use this. I might as well firmly secure the sunroof in, and then what do I need all this electronic stuff for? So I tossed all of that, but I still had the track thing for a few years afterward. Should have gotten rid of that a long time ago. And I keep wanting more space, getting frustrated with the lack of space. So I kept removing things over time and just getting that relief, that needed relief. The side panels, there was a little plastic piece covering the seat belt that I recently got rid of. And just little things, like even the track, this track thing right here. It's I removed the track just for weight, to remove weight and space, just a little bit of space. Okay, it's little pieces here and there. Some I didn't really have quite the tools for. I didn't have the right size socket, so I had to rip it out. You know, just bend the metal back and forth until it gave up. So yeah, I got a lot of cameras. This is all for my driving channel. I'm even in future videos, I'm going to be showing videos from the GoPro 3, the Max, because I got a system now where I download all of my driving videos into the GoPro Quick app, which is this, I'm using the Quick app for live streaming, and I'm also using it for just downloading from 5 different cameras, or 4 different cameras, and then I'm getting them in chronological order. They're ordering chronologically, properly chronologically, on the GoPro Quick app, and I've just recently realized that. So I'm taking advantage of that because it's easier to keep things in chronological order through the app. I was doing a terrible job straight on the computer, putting the videos straight onto my computer in the folders. I can't get 4 cameras in order. It's too hard. But the GoPro Quick app will put them in order, and then I could from there do what I need to do to get them lined up. So instead of pulling from 3 or 4 different folders to put them in the DaVinci Resolve, now I'm just putting them in one folder. Plus, I'm arranging these videos outside of libraries right on this phone, instead of trying to arrange them right on the laptop, which, you know, I have to wait for. I have to hold off until I get into a library to do. I can actually arrange everything in the car just on this little phone. It's kind of cool. It keeps me out of the libraries a little bit better, and I can you know, lay down and sit in more relaxed positions than the positions that the libraries offer. I go into libraries with more specific work in mind to do, just for efficiency purposes and all of that. I'm gonna get a ticket if they pull me over for no seatbelt. Yeah, I keep the seat frame in here so that doesn't so that I'm able to keep the whole seatbelt system together. So everything, that safety feature's still in. I'm not really going after safety features for the driver's area. I'm taking out safety features for everything else, all the back seats, the passenger seats, all of that, airbags and belts. So removing things is actually improving my safety. You want to making things lighter. It's going to make less of an impact on a crash, and also creating more space will allow me easier access to the passenger door. So now that I got more space, if I had to escape through the passenger side, I could bring things over to this side a little bit better, because I removed this door panel, so I can lean back just a little bit, couple inches more, and if I needed to slide things forward, I'd have more room to do that, so I could escape out the passenger side. Creating space is very useful. I think creating space inside the car is more useful than having all those extra safety cushions. Less things to burn too, really. Plastic kind of burns. So somebody got pulled over a week ago for no seatbelt, driving in the opposite direction. I saw you without a seatbelt. I always put a seatbelt on. It's just a habit of mine. They just look for that little strap. Maybe they should have pink straps so it's easier to see them. But yeah, if you wanted to obscure your seatbelt, I guess you could you wear dark clothing, have a clear looking seatbelt, and that way if they say you're not wearing it, you could show them that it's a very clear looking seatbelt, like a see-through plastic of some kind that's rated for safety. and then they can't. It'd be harder for them to see the hard to see design. So yeah, I've removed a lot of stuff out of this car, and it's really a benefit. All the vents are out, and now they're storage for my garlic press and my lemon press and a couple other cooking utensils. And this, whereas before they were just laying on the table, the vent over here, having removed the vent, is giving me just a little space to push the bowl over a little bit. So it's been really nice to have that space. And I thought you know, when I found that cat, when that cat approached me, I had all this extra space. I figured I'll try to take care of the cat. And I was just sitting in a parking lot, kind of on the end of it. The woods behind me is like, I didn't know where else the cat would be going. We're kind of on the outskirts of everything, the outskirts of town. So I figure I'll take the cat to the Walmart parking lot and see if it wants to hang out there. But yeah, I hung out all day getting a little video footage of the cat. I guess I could have done it on this GoPro, huh? Recording instead of recording on directly on the phone. But yeah, I was just kind of sitting with my door open, and I was hearing all this meowing. You know, once in 10 years, it's the first time in 10 years of traveling and just hanging out everywhere, that I really had a cat that didn't seem to belong, that was really friendly and didn't seem to belong to anybody. I've had friendly cats in the past, but it's really rare. Like in Oregon, this really Christian, this strongly Christian town in Oregon, not far from McMinnville. I forget the name. I'd recognize it though. I like that. You know, the cat. This cat was so friendly in this Christian town. It was actually like a little too playful, because I was walking by its house. Like the first time I saw it, I came over and I pet it a little bit, and then I continue on. It just kind of hung out in the front yard, and it was a big orange cat. But like the next night or so, I was walking by the house, just casually walking, and it just starts leaping at me like it's a raccoon. It scared me. I thought I was getting attacked by a wild animal, and then it just stops right in front of me and just like, I don't know, I think it meowed or stared at me, and I was like, "Oh, kitty, what are you doing?" I nearly kicked it. It was so friendly around humans, and it's never been. I think it's never been kicked. And cats wreck Craig DC's speakers. Return to the cat. I don't know, the place that. See this city, couple of cities south of here now. Greene County Alms House. So it's south of Greene County's Alms House. It like I tried to take the cat to the shelter that very day, and they told me, and I recorded it on my GoPro. I have to download that video, me talking to the animal care center. I just walk over, and it was outside the city. It was like 5-mile drive. I just wanted to like try to help the cats. And I asked the guy, you know, I said, hey, I got a cat I got to give you. And he's like, we can't take it. We're full. We got 40 cages full. So that just made me think, wow, this cat is pretty worthless. So I was like, okay, I'll play with the cat a little bit, maybe take it to the next town and see if there's an animal shelter there. And there were this was a no-kill shelter I tried to take it to. and there's like two kill shelters in the city, and I'm like, I'll take it with me to the next town. And so we hung out for the day. I kind of stayed a couple of days in that town with the cat. I went back to the park the next day a couple of times with the cat, and just hung out in that park, and it wouldn't leave me. So it was like the time of year is cat season. So yeah, we hung out in that park for 2 or 3 days, and then I had to move on. I didn't want to stick around, but that park was pretty nice. I had Wi-Fi. Like here, I'm using Walmart Wi-Fi. So I was in electricity, and then there was a bathroom. So everything was provided. I was like, okay, I'll just hang out here, work in the shelter. They had a nice shelter, picnic tables. Just play on my laptop on the Wi-Fi with the kitty, trying to walk on my keyboard. I had this keyboard I could turn on and off, so every time I wanted to walk on my keyboard, I'd have to turn it off. So yeah, we hung out, and then I decided to drive it to the Greene County Almshouse, which is considered haunted, but maybe I think it's haunted before it got burnt down. But yeah, the cat followed me when I walked around the rubble, so I got a bunch of video of that. We hung out there, and since it's such an isolated place, it's like there's definitely no way I was gonna leave it there at the old almshouse, built in the 1800s. Oh man, I build up too much air. But yeah, the cat was all over. It was very affectionate. It was on my lap. I'd have a blanket, my wool blanket, on my lap, and then it'd lay on my lap. Sometimes I would play with it, like I'd put my fingers under the blankets, and then just act like I'm a wild mole, or just a burrowing animal. So then I would go crazy trying to get at the animal under the blanket. That's always a fun game. That's the thing, I enjoy playing with cats a lot, because I have a 7-foot stick, and I got string that I could tie to the end of the stick. So I was doing that at the almshouse, playing with a 7-foot stick and a string, making it really run back and forth, get that exercise. And then also the digging under the blanket, playfulness. So it was fun to play with cats in that way. And it's a young cat, so it's really extra excited about trying to catch something. And it really it likes to follow long distances. I mean, it wasn't attached to my car, so it was only a few days, but it was a lot of fun to play with. Just getting but I think it wasn't disciplined enough. I mean, somehow it was extremely friendly with people. All right, he'd just come up to me and meowing and looking for pets, just coming into my car. I had some eggs, which I need to cook more eggs, but I fed it a whole egg. It ate a whole egg, and half the egg was with a shell. It'll chew through the shell, but I'll take it out of the eggs out of the shell. But I figure, this cat would be nice for just eating my egg yolks, because I only want to eat half the egg yolks. So yeah, it was gonna survive with me on mostly egg yolks and milk. It could go through. I think its stomach it is a small cat. It was maybe capacity of eating 2 eggs a day, roughly. So I mean, I was not gonna buy cat food for it. It was just gonna be, I just let it eat food, and I would have more seriously considered buying more fish. But the problem was with some fish. When I took it to the almshouse, we went out there with some tuna, wild caught tuna, and the tuna was fine. All right, the meat, but I saved. Are they facing me? I didn't even notice. I saved a piece of tuna for it for later in the cooking water, because I cooked the tuna in cooking water, and that was in the morning time. So I saved the tuna in the tuna cooking water in this copper cup, and then in the evening time it was like looking for food. It's like acts like a wild animal when it gets hungry, just trying to sniff around, and it'd eat my bread. And I had no problems feeding it bread. So actually its diet was a little more diverse. The cat loves eggs, milk, and toasted bread. All right, it'll eat those, and I'm like, you know, hey, that's fine. That's a good barn cat for you. That's how they've grown up on farms, eating farm food. I think the cat could handle that. I think, you know, it'll remain healthy for many years, living off of the barn food, the barn cat food. But I gave it I let it drink this tuna fish water, and it took 20 to 30 minutes, but it got really like sick. It had to puke everything out. Luckily it came forward, and I opened up my door and let it out, and then it puked outside the car. But that's the only time it actually ejected bodily fluids outside the car, was when it puked. And it did it twice too. It clearly, I could hear it puking, and it was a cold, windy night that night. So I let it, after it was done puking, I came inside and I just tried to keep it warm, because I figure warmth is the biggest concern. Keeping it under the blanket, keeping it warm. And I went back out again to puke in the winds, in the cold winds, or at least it was going through the retching process. And that was off of the tuna fish water. So just drinking the tuna fish cooking water, I think caused the sickness, caused it to puke. And I've had problems with the catfish water in the past. I didn't want the catfish water to go to waste, so I would use the catfish. Well, I'd try to drink the catfish water or cook it with something, and it never tasted good. So I could understand the cat having issues, just like humans. The cats will have issues too with the water. Man, I just can't keep this out of the sun at all. What if no, that's not gonna work. Without see, ideally I want to turn this upside down. It just, nope, that's not gonna work. That's nope. Yeah, I don't have enough. The metal isn't really. Yeah, all I can keep it on is this blue thing, I guess. Unless if I change up. Oh, I could put this on a selfie stick, and then I could hold this on a selfie stick. What do I need to attach it for if I can just put it on a selfie stick? This is the Go. Oh wait, am I losing connection? Isn't the GoPro 11 like dependent on the Wi-Fi connection directly itself? So yeah. So yeah, the cat was a real lifestyle changer. I just suddenly became more focused on the cat, concerned about it. It got me kind of emotional being concerned about it. I mean, on day one, I tried to take it to a homeless shelter. Since that didn't work out, I figured, all right, I'll play with it, because I felt kind of bad about leaving it in the park that I found it at. I wanted to show it a little bit of a good time. So I think it was starving. I think it was really starving. It sounded like very energetic though. It seemed to have really good energy. But I think it was often not eating enough. And it seemed to be used to getting cat food, because when I would do this with just my cereal, it would perk up. It was conditioned to respond to that cat food box or that cat food package sound. But it learns that there's nothing, I had nothing for it when it would hear this. But it started to become conditioned to the sound of a cracking egg. Okay, like from a dead sleep, I would crack an egg, and suddenly I had this cat in front of me, from behind, as you know, after it's sleeping behind me. So it doesn't take long for it to learn the sounds of potential food, and it's just as, I think it probably is just as excited for cat food, for eggs, as it does cat food. So I thought that was interesting, and it would you know, sniff around for milk or whatever. But I was surprised how it actually was very responsive to the smell of toast. I toast a little extra and put the toast in the bag, and it would just start sniffing around like it really wanted a piece of bread. So, and then I pulled a piece of bread out for it, and it eats it up greedily, like it's a piece of meat. It likes toast. So that's, you know, that's fine. I like toast. I don't think cats' digestions are a whole lot different than humans. Just like I don't even think bees' digestions are a whole lot different from humans. I like honey a lot. Bees like honey. You know, we have a lot of similarities. We have differences, but we also have similarities too in our digestions, especially for our appetites. Our appetites, you know, rule how we consume a lot. And if a cat is demonstrating a real interest in a piece of bread, I think there's a good chance it can handle some bread. It can handle you know, what do you call it? Egg McMuffins. It's a cat can eat an egg McMuffin pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't feed it garlic with everything that I eat with egg. I like to crush garlic with my eggs and toast, you know, garlic bread. I've been going through, and I love the smell. Wow, I could just sit here and smell this crushed garlic, and it's like a perfume. It's just a really nice fragrant smell. So taking care of the cats, it was in starvation mode before me, and then suddenly it starts, it was in excess. It was living a life of excess, overeating, you know, and yeah, just getting all it wants, because I was very attentive to it. So it was getting extra food, you know, whenever it was hungry, and I think, you know, being packed in with all that food was maybe a change in what I don't know. It probably didn't know how to handle excess food, and so it was having issues with, you know, the peeing and the pooping. So it actually tried to poop first. It pooped pretty much twice in my car. The first time was on the floorboard, and I saw it going through the process, and immediately I threw it outside. And I have no idea if it even pooped. Did it hold it in? I don't know. That was a couple days before. And yeah. On the last day, it actually both peed and pooped in my car. I think my sleeping bag still smells like cat pee. It peed a lot. It was a cold day, and I was letting it drink as much as it wants. And when it comes to milk, there's always it's easy to over consume milk. Milk is very addictive for both cats and humans. So when you're not thirsty for water, you think you're full, try some milk, and then suddenly you realize, oh, I guess I'm still a little extra thirsty. Milk really helps with thirst. If you're having trouble drinking water, turn to milk. There's something in it that really makes it go down a lot easier than just regular water. So it was drinking a lot, and yeah, it's right behind me. And this is the thing. It's like I went to that city where I met the cop, and I was letting the cat in and out often, because that was from day one, that was my biggest concern, is peeing and pooping in the car, which it did. I couldn't prevent it, no matter how attentive I tried to be. And when the cop showed up, that was right, you know, I was doing my exercises on the picnic table, and I had the cat inside the car at that point, because I had the cat outside the car when I was doing the exercises, and as I'm leaning over the picnic table, it was like getting in between my legs and sitting. It was kind of a chilly day, windy and chilly, so it was finding comfort in between my legs. And when I wanted to get up from the exercise, I had to be very careful about not crushing the cat. So I decided I'd put it in the car for a little bit, and I was going to check on it within like 5 minutes. But then the cop shows up and then holds me over for over 20 minutes. And I think I heard the cat meowing a little bit. So I'm talking to the cop, you know, and if it was a regular person, I would have been like, hold on, I'm gonna walk over and let my cat out. All right, but it was a cop. And you try to walk away from a cop as you're talking, and suddenly they could say, oh, you're detained, you can't go anywhere, I'm gonna place you under arrest for obstruction of justice. They'll do that. So I felt like a deer caught in a headlight with this cop. I felt like I really didn't have a choice, and you know, they'd probably give me a hard time about having a cat in my car too. So I kind of felt like I needed to keep it a bit of a secret from the cop as well. So I kept the cat in the car for an extra long period of time, longer, and it was full of energy too. So and full of pee. I'm surprised that in the time I was talking to the cop over the 20 minutes, with extra minutes because I was waiting for him to drive away, the cat had to pee. It had a big pee. But the weird thing is it held its pee in the whole time as I was talking to the cop, and it could hear me. The windows were kind of down, but I had pet nets. And is probably going through this psychological process of, like, you know, the cat wanted to come over, and it couldn't, and it was probably getting this anxious issue. But at the end, after I talked to the cop, I let the cat out, and it went outside But and I think it had to pee. It went outside. It had to pee, but instead of trying to pee outside, it comes back into the car and then pees on my sleeping bag behind me. And you know, that's the first time I punished it, but I rubbed its nose in the pee, and what do? I threw it outside the car and said, out here, you know, you pee out here. It's not like a dog though. What is he carrying? Oh, he's gonna block my signal. This guy, yeah, no, sort of, no, he's continuing. If they're big enough, they can block the signal. So, yeah, the cat peed in the car during the daytime. And so we had kind of a strained relationship there. I partly blame myself for leaving the cat in, because I try to be as attentive as possible. And, you know, it's just, I wish I had the cat outside the car when that cop showed up. It was just kind of bad timing when he showed up. And I mean, that's what happens for pet owners a lot. Cops will arrest you and you got a dog in the car, and it's just a bigger mess when you got pets. So I still, you know, this is a park a bit on the outskirts, underused. So I decided, well, the cat was hesitant about coming with me. In the evening time, I wanted to go to a library to try to upload this cop video, and the cat was a little hesitant about going back inside my car, especially after it smells like its own pee. But that didn't stop it from pooping inside my car. But yeah, for a second time I drove away from the cat a little bit, because it was under the car anyway. And then I picked, and I walked, and I got out of the car to pick it up and bring it inside, and then drove to the library in Whitehall. And then when I got to Whitehall, I let it out kind of immediately, and it just kind of like looked around. It was a new place, new stresses, you know, new place. Maybe it was confused again, what's this place type of thing. But in that time, I think it had to poop at some point. I was at the library trying to upload, and it was going to take like 3 hours. So I was actually seriously considering about parking, like camping in that library parking lots to upload the cop video. So it seemed like a pretty quiet place, relaxed. Let the cat out and try to upload a 20-minute cop video. It's going to take over 3 hours to upload. Next to it, the library is next to a park. And yeah, it went outside and just kind of looked around and stuff. But then it had to come inside, and I closed the door, and it started pawing and scratching around and the floor, and I could smell it kind of farting. It farted once or twice, and those are signs that it had to poop. But I mean, I kind of tried to stop it from scratching around like it was about to get ready to poop on my floor, and I was kind of playing with it with my foot, and I think I got frustrated with that, and then it went off to my right and pooped right pretty much on me, right on the side, right on mostly on a sleeping bag, which I threw out. But as soon as I heard it was an explosive action, so I got most of it out, but I threw it outside immediately and never let it inside the car again. And yeah, I had to clean up. It smelled really bad. Didn't want to I didn't want any more accidents inside the car, and it stayed outside the car. And I tried, and I was at that point looking for somewhere else to go. I just wanted to leave it outside the car, and I wanted to go away quickly. I didn't want to just sit there with the cats outside the car any longer than I had to. And it actually climbed on the roof at one point. I had to get out of the car and take it off the car roof and set it back on the ground. But yeah, I decided to drive 20 miles. I wasn't happy about making such a trip at night, but just to get away from the cats, I did that. I mean, I don't know what I could have done better exactly. You gotta be really attentive to, you know, peeing and pooping. That's the biggest issue. It's easy. It has no problems eating inside or outside the car. Yeah, it has no problems eating inside or outside, because I fed it outside the car, I fed it inside the car. But peeing or pooping, it just it needs a more comfortable environment to pee or poop. It doesn't need a comfortable environment to eat or drink, but it's got to be extra safe. I don't know what's going through a cat's mind exactly with that, but it just couldn't. I mean, it was sleep. I don't, you know, it just kind of sleeps. It was sleeping inside the car, yet it still decided that it's best to pee or poop inside the car. And maybe it's because of me, you know, I have to pee in my car sometimes, so I have to pee in here, and maybe it's associating what I do with what it can get away with as well. And that's not, you know, I don't know how to deal with that. I'm just not equipped to provide any help for it, because I can't keep a litter box in here. There's no way. This isn't maybe in a van, but not in a car like this. I took my chances, just kind of transporting the cat from one city to the next, and having fun with it. But I mean, I learned that, you know, I've been putting too much focus on myself, and I'm going back to that. So whatever. So yeah, I pretty much, yeah, with this cat, it's in a I dropped it off in a completely different environment. I mean, I drove to the library of Whitehall and just dropped it off after it pooped in my car, and it had to get to know this completely new area. But it's very friendly, so I think maybe, I'm pretty confident that the people there are friendly. So you know, all I can do is hope that it's taken care of. It's, you know, I could drive, what, 20 miles back there to look for the cat, but I'm not going to. I'm going to drive 20 miles further north instead. So yeah, I'm just not equipped to take care of cats, even though I really enjoyed its company. I don't think it's stupid. I think it's a smart cat. Typical smart cats. It's responsive in every way, in every way that you expect from a cat. But when it comes to peeing and pooping, it just had no discipline. I don't know how it got so friendly with people. When it has, how does a cat become so friendly with people, yet so poorly disciplined on litter training or bathroom training? That surprises me. So it's something that I had to learn the hard way. I lost a sleeping bag over it, but that's fine because summer's coming up and I really don't need that sleeping bag. I'll get another sleeping bag for in the winter time. No, it's illegal to abandon cats. I'd be interested to see the law on that. When they got animal shelters with 40 cages that are all full and they can't, when animal shelters can't take extra cats, when animal shelters are turning down cats, you can't make it illegal to dump cats, to dump animals. It's just like with homelessness too. I mean, when the homeless